So we know that there's this vast library of a whole bunch of commands that we can use, and those commands are all placed into folders with similar commands. I would like to start by looking at the scanner class. So I'm going to go to the Java library, the Java API, and I scrolled down to scanner. And when I clicked on scanner, it brought up all the things related to what a scanner is, what a scanner does, and all of its capabilities. So if you scroll through that, you'll see some examples given. And I'm going to keep scrolling. I see there are certain ways that I can construct or create a scanner, and we've been using system in to read information from the keyboard. The real meat is in this method summary. So method summary means these are all the commands that we can use with a scanner variable. We'll use the word variable for now. So when I scroll in here, I see there are a whole bunch of things to use. It would be really overwhelming if I said to you, okay, just look through that and use some of those. So what I've done is I've created a little table of some of the more commonly used ones. And we're going to program with some of those more commonly used ones now. Specifically, the ones I want to look at right now are next line and just plain old next. So there's two of them that we'll be looking at, next and next line. So I'm going to open up a Java program, and this program is something that we've used before where we asked for some input, we read in that input, and then we printed it out. So we use the term next line, but what I'm wondering is what next does that's similar or different to next line. So if I just type this in alone, it will look like it's doing the same thing as next line. I type in a name and it says hello. But I'm going to just get some more information here and see if there's a difference that I can see. So sometimes when I'm programming, the best way to find out what something does is to try using it in multiple ways. So I'm going to ask, what is your hobby? And put a semicolon at the end, and then I'm going to read that into hobby. And watch what happens when I try. What I would want to do after I ask what the hobby is I will want to print that out. Maybe something like this. So now it'll say hello, whatever the name was that was put in. You said your hobby is, whatever the hobby was that was put in. So just using the term next, it doesn't look like anything different happened. But what if I put in my full name? So I'm going to put in a full name, something like with a space in it. Let's see what happens now. Oh, it skipped everything else and it said, hello Xavier, your hobby is ginger. Well, that's weird because I meant for just my name to be that. The difference between next and next line is that next will only read up to a space, where next line reads the whole line of information. So if there's even the potential that someone might put a space in it, use next line. Now, if there isn't the potential, so if I use next line here, now I see I can put in a space and a last name and a hobby, and it works just the way that I wanted it to. It took that whole line. If you look down here in the terminal section, it took this whole line, including the space. It read it in and it placed it in the variable called name. The advantage to using next is kind of cool. So if I want, I can say enter your name and your hobby separated with a space. And now I can read those both in at the same time. Now when I run it, I can enter a single name, a space, and then the hobby. And it read in the name as the first thing before the space, the hobby in as the second thing after the space. So if you want more than one thing to be entered in one clean sweep, use next. If you want a whole entire line, including spaces, to be read in as the variable, that's when you should use next line. So hopefully this helps make a distinction between two of the more commonly used methods in the scanner class, next and next line. Why don't you practice a little bit and see how it goes?